Hello, my name is Matthias, and welcome to the FPL Scope and my team selection video for GW33. And I ask you, my FPL Scope viewers, what do you want to talk about? Because I am happy that Cody Rhodes won at WrestleMania, if you care about wrestling. But you're here to listen to me talk about FPL, and before we go into my plans for GW33, I'm going to talk about what happened in GW32. And again, a really good game week for me, and finally, for the first time this season, I'm into the top 10k, and I'm so happy about it. I can change the graphic to say points ahead of top 10k instead of points behind top 10k. I've been waiting for that for the whole season basically, and I'm finally here, and I'm here to stay. I'm not planning to lose out and get under top 10k anymore this season basically. For this game week, I did one transfer, and that was Oriola out for David Raya. I figured Arsenal would keep a clean sheet and be really good defensively, so obviously I'd want Raya in goal. And that's what happened. He kept a clean sheet and he was really good. But if I hadn't done that transfer, I would have just started Dubravka instead, and he got 9 points because he kept a clean sheet against Fulham and got some bonus points as well and some save points. So yeah, I did lose out because of that transfer, but I'm really happy to finally be aboard the double Arsenal defense bandwagon. I'm really happy about both Gabriel and Raya, both for Game 33 and 34, but also potentially beyond that as well. But we'll see what happens when I wildcard in Game 35, because that's still my plan. Still have my wildcard left, still have my bench boost left, so wildcard Game 35, bench boost Game 37 is still the plan. And we'll see how many Arsenal players I have for that Game 37 team. But I might go with 1, 2, or even 3 Arsenal players at that point, because I think Arsenal are still a really good team to have players from this FPL season in general, basically. So Raya got 6 points in goal, Gabriel got 6 points in defense, Aït-Nouri got 4 points, really close for him. He got an assist from winning a penalty, and then he was subbed off in the 55th minute when Wolverhampton still hadn't conceded in that game. So if he had been subbed off 5 minutes later, he would have had the bonus points, probably the clean sheet points, the assist points. He would have had 12 points most likely from that game, which would have been terrific, obviously. So again, he has provided me some points, but again, he's sort of left a couple points on the board as well, because he's been so close to scoring more goals lately. He had a couple clean sheet wipeouts really late as well. So Aït-Nouri has been a fantastic player for me, but he has also been really close to being even better for me as well. So still really happy with Aït-Nouri, obviously. I'm going to keep him. He did sub off with an injury, so hopefully he's back fit for the next game, but I hope, and I think he's going to be back for the game against Nottingham Forest as well. I did get Jared Brantwaite in off the bench for Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto was basically rested for the Chelsea game, thankfully for me, because I had Brantwaite coming on from the bench with 6 points. Really happy about that. Palmer got an assist in that Chelsea game, 5 points for him. I was really happy about that as well, about him not getting too many points, because he actually would have hurt my rank if he had scored more points. So happy he only got 5 points basically. Saka with 10 points. Really happy to see him finally back in the points tally, getting the penalty that he didn't get in the Champions League, which he shouldn't have gotten either. Stupid decision from him in the Champions League, but that's a different video altogether. But 10 points from him in FPL. Really happy about that. 5 points from Son as well. Nice assist for Son. Could have had more, obviously, but yeah, an assist. I'll take that from Son. Salah actually ended up being the best captaincy option I could have chosen this week, apart from Saka, and I was really never close to picking Saka, so happy about the 16 points total from Salah. The 8 points he got from the penalty that he scored against Man United as well. Hold on with 8 points, scored a goal, had another huge chance missed as well, so he could have had more. But yeah, happy to see him get points and get back in the scoring column as well. Darwin got an assist for his game, 5 points for him. Pretty happy to see that. And Solanke, again, kind of the big disappointment for me. The only attacker, or only player in general, basically, that didn't return for me. And I think that's almost the second game week in a row where he's been the only player that hasn't returned for me. So really let down by Solanke. He's obviously a big player for those of us that are not wildcarding or that are not free hitting in 34 and are wildcarding in 35. So we were really hoping Solanke would step up, but he hasn't so far, even though Bournemouth have had pretty good matches, and they've had some decent results as well in those matches. So pretty unhappy about Solanke, again blanking, but I have to keep him for Game 34 now, and then I'm probably going to wildcard him away in Game 35. But he's been a good player for me this season, so I can't complain too much, but I'm kind of dismayed about his points the last few game weeks. On the bench, obviously, Dubravka at 9 points. Kind of sad to see him get the 9 points. I was hoping Fulham would score in that game, but at the same time, yeah, nice to have a decent backup goalkeeper, I guess. Gusto subbed off because of rest, like I mentioned, so happy about that with Brantwaite coming on, and Sabarni getting 1 point and Garnacho getting 2 points. On my bench, it's also perfectly fine. They both could have had more points. Sabarni conceded pretty late once again. Bournemouth tend to do that. And Garnacho actually had some nice chances even against Liverpool, had a goal disallowed for offside as well. So he's showing some promise without getting too much points to hurt me when I'm benching him. So happy about him as well. 73 points in total. 2,017 points overall in general this season, up to 8.4k in the world. Really happy about that. I'm going to try to push on and try to maybe get into the top 1k, maybe beat my best ever score, my best overall rank ever, which was 1,341 or something like that, all the way back in like 2011-12 season. So this rank would be so much more gratifying with so many more players playing the game as well. So really happy about my team in general, really happy about my tactic in terms of chip strategy. Looking forward to the wildcard in Gaming 35. Looking forward to have a lot of players ready for Gaming 34. So really happy about my team all over the board, basically. And I did actually outscore my free hit suggestion, because my free hit suggestion only got 53 points this game week. Not the best team in general. I had Ortega in goal for Man City. They conceded twice, actually, against Crystal Palace, so that wasn't too good. Gabriel, just like in my team, 6 points for me there. Udogie with 2 points. Spurs, again, they keep conceding every single game, even though they are really easy matches. Really easy home game, and he didn't really do much. Udogie only got 2 points. Obviously, Pedro Porro would have been the better choice because he scored and got 11 points. So that's a big chance missed there as well with having Udogie rather than Pedro Porro. Aït-Nouri with the 4 points, like I just mentioned, could have gone better, but he was also someone that came on off the bench in this team as well, with Gusto subbing off. And Foden also subbed off. He didn't play in this match. Had pretty high hopes for him. Obviously could have gone with someone like De Bruyne instead, because he got 18 points. That would have been a much better score for me, obviously, as we'll see with the next team that I'm going to present to you. So yeah, Foden got 0 points, and his replacement, Brendan Johnson, got 2 points only. Missed a pretty big chance for Spurs, but he looked quite lively and good again, Johnson, even though he blanked. But yeah, 2 points is no good, obviously. Son 5 points, Palmer 5 points, same as my team. Salah 16 points, same as my team. Haaland, same as my team. Isak actually failed for one game week, finally, against Fulham. Much less high-scoring game than I expected, because I had loaded up on 2 attackers from that game. Newcastle against Fulham, but it ended only 1-0 for Newcastle. So all over the board, pretty bad differentials. Isak blanked, Johnson blanked, Gusto didn't even play. So yeah, not the best free hit draft, but again, that just proves to you that free hit 29 is not really that big of an aberration either. Sometimes you have actually a higher score from the team that you have compared to the team that you're free hitting into. So yeah, that just goes to show again why free hit isn't really that powerful for that one game week. It's more powerful for the game weeks before and after. So that's why I basically free hit in game week 29. And I feel pretty good about that decision at this point as well. Let's move on to someone that actually did score pretty highly this game week, and that is the manager of the week in the FPL Scope Mini League. This week it is Ryan Coyne, who ended up with 93 points despite doing 0 transfers. I haven't really checked. I should actually go back and check if this team has been inactive for several weeks, because this team kind of smells a little bit of someone that gave up a couple game weeks ago. But either way, 1,795 points in total, with a big green arrow this time around, with up to 1.3 million or 1.4 million just about overall. Still enough time to get into that top million, maybe push on even higher than that as well. Still plenty of time in the season. This manager also has wildcard and bench boost left, just like myself. So wildcarding in game 35 and bench boosting in game 37 seems like a pretty good idea. But with this squad, you could actually also make a case for wildcarding in game 33 already. And if you want to see the best potential wildcarding in game 33, obviously, if you have a free hit chip left, then I made the video about that. That was posted on Wednesday night, so you can check that out as well on the channel. But yeah, when it comes to this team, in terms of being the manager of the week, there's one big difference here from most teams this week. The reason why this manager is the manager of the week this week, and that's because the vice captain, which is De Bruyne, the team was actually captaining Foden, and Foden didn't play, obviously, but that meant De Bruyne had more room to play, and he managed to get 18 points times 2, which is 36 points as the vice captain. So that's a massive score, obviously. Saka chipping him in with 10 points, Gabriel and Saliba with 6 points and 5 points by themselves as well. And De Bruyne with 9 points, actually playing in this team. And then Haaland in front with 8 points, and Watkins with 13 points. So several of the old big hitters, Watkins, for example, and De Bruyne, who were really popular like 6-7 game weeks ago, they were basically in most of the teams in FPL. Someone that has kept them all that time until now actually got rewarded this game week with De Bruyne with a massive score, especially as the vice captain, getting twice the amount of points as normal, and Watkins getting 13 points as well. And still, this team had only 10 players playing, because McTominay is in the starting lineup and he didn't even feature in the game. Gusto, Foden and Ogbene didn't play either, not Areola either for that matter, but it didn't really matter. 10 players used 93 points, Still a massive score. So congratulations for this game week. Congratulations on being the manager of the week. And like I said previously, you can also be the manager of the week in the FPL Scope mini league and be featured on this video or in the FPL Scope podcast if you join the mini league with the league code B9JT0D. And if you have the highest score in one particular game week, you'll get featured on the FPL Scope channel, basically, where I look into your team. And I'm not only going to look into your team for that game week, I'm also going to look into the future and for the next game week, and that's what I'm going to do with Ryan Coyne's team as well. And this is how the team is lining up for next game week. So the goalkeeper position, not the best with Dubravka, the only fit goalkeeper, and he's playing Spurs at home. Maybe Ariel will be back, but still, I don't think so. I think you have to start with Dubravka this game. Spurs at home, not the easiest fixture for Dubravka. Gabriel and Saliba in defense are always going to be good. Arsenal defense is really good, even though they are playing against a really tough team in Aston Villa, playing against Watkins, who is the striker for now, at least in this team. But I think Saliba and Gabriel are still really good players to have in this game week. Conor Bradley in defense remains to be seen if he's going to play. Trent Alexander-Arnold is back in training now, so maybe Trent is going to be back playing in this game for Liverpool. We'll see what happens in the... This is obviously released after the Europa League game for Liverpool, but we'll see what happened there in regards to Trent and Bradley. If Trent is not ready to play, Bradley is still going to be a really good pick against Crystal Palace at home, even though he hasn't really returned that many points lately in FPL either. Then we also have Gusto against Everton at home. I still think that's a decent fixture if he's ready to play. It's, again, another thing that you could consider there if Gusto's fit to play or not. De Bruyne, I actually think is a really nice captaincy choice this week against Luton at home. Foden might not play, so De Bruyne might be the one that they rely upon. Maybe Haaland doesn't even play, so I think having De Bruyne or Haaland captain is probably the way to go here, but I think also Heung-min Son is a decent captaincy choice against Newcastle away. I think that's a really profitable fixture, even though they did keep a clean sheet that last time against Spurs. I expect them to concede quite a few goals, so Son could be a decent sneaky captain differential there as well this week. Saka, Aston Villa at home, really good fixture. Villa play pretty poorly defensively lately, so I think Saka is still really good. And then Foden again against Luton at home. If he plays, he's going to be a tremendous player. If he doesn't play, you have more of an issue. But I think you obviously have 2 free transfers left, so you have several things you can do. But let's just go through the final attackers as well. Haaland against Luton at home and Watkins against Arsenal away. And Watkins is the one that I think you can sacrifice. He doesn't have any double game weeks coming up. Has a really tough game week or a really tough fixture this game week. And he actually gets you some money, especially if you are selling him for someone like Cunha, who's a lot cheaper. And you can do that transfer by itself, just have Cunha rather than Watkins and stick with the team that you can see in front of you here. But I think also Cole Palmer, like I mentioned in the week or draft video, he's someone that you sort of need to have, especially with Everton at home being a really good fixture as well. I think Palmer should come into the team, and that's for either McTominay or Ogbene, depending on who's looking less likely to play for the rest of the season, basically. I would probably sell McTominay because you kind of want to have, just sell McTominay because he's not going to play that much anyway. So Watkins to Cunha and McTominay to Palmer are my preferred transfers this week. If you could do a goalkeeper transfer on top of that, you could do that as well, because obviously you are not free hitting in game week 34, so you want as many double game week players as you can have. So you could get someone like Neto, for example, in goal to have a goalkeeper that plays 2 matches in next game week as well. But yeah, that's up to you basically. But yeah, I think this team is looking decent, all things considered. You also have the wildcard in game week 35 most likely coming up, and the bench boost in 37. So I think you can have a really strong end to the season and get into the top million basically for this season, which I think is a respectable thing to do, especially if you're sort of more casually playing it and not endlessly looking at what to do for every single game week. And you, basically just take it as it comes when it comes to FPL. But yeah, that's basically it for your team this game week. I think it's looking decent for both this game week and beyond, so don't be dismayed with your rank. You can still get into the top million for the end of the season, basically. Let's move on to my free draft for this upcoming game week, the team that I think is the best possible team to have in game week 33. And I would go with Kelleher in goal for Liverpool. I think Alisson is still out and not ready to play. But if Kelleher doesn't play, you still have Flecking coming on to play Sheffield United at home, which is a decent fixture for him. So you are pretty well covered there. But I think Liverpool against Crystal Palace should have decent chances of keeping a clean sheet. So I've doubled up with both Kelleher and Virgil van Dijk. I think Van Dijk is pretty certain to start for Liverpool, so I think that's a good fixture for him. Palace seems like a team that he can score a bullet header against as well, so that should be pretty good for Virgil van Dijk. Gabriel is basically a mainstay with the free team. I think he's just too good of a player, too good of an asset can keep a clean sheet, can score, can get those 15-point hauls. So Gabriel is going to be in pretty much every single free draft for most of the season, basically. Also going to take a little bit of a punt on Rico Lewis. Scored the last game, played 90 minutes. I think he's the type of player that they play in the league now and trying to save the best possible team for the Real Madrid game. They played 3-3 in the Champions League and they really want to have a nice second leg there and a nice chance to play all their best players. So someone like Rico Lewis can easily step in and do a really nice job for Man City like he did last time, scoring a goal. And I think he has pretty high potential as a player this game week. Salah against Crystal Palace at home. Still think he might be the best captaincy option, especially if Haaland doesn't play from start against Luton. It's either between Salah or Haaland, I think, for captaincy this week. But again, we have De Bruyne and Son as other really, really good options. And they're obviously also included in the free team for this game week. Salah, Son, De Bruyne, Palmer seems like 4 really, really strong players. You could have Foden there if you get leaks about Foden starting. It could also be your tactic if you are free hitting this game week, but I don't think free hitting in 33 is the best tactic, basically, personally either. So, but yeah, if you really want to free hit this week, this is probably the team you should go with. Palmer against Everton at home. It's also a pretty decent fixture for Palmer. Every fixture is basically a decent fixture for Palmer because he's been so good this whole season. Haaland striker, like I mentioned, Isak against Spurs at home. A really good team to target when it comes to scoring goals. I think Isak could easily score against Spurs, make like life difficult for them. It's going to be so much space, and I think Isak thrives in space behind those really attacking fullbacks at Spurs. So I think he's a really good option in attack as well. And Chris Wood, I think he just deserves a shout out. He's been so good and so consistent for a lot of game weeks in a row now. Really should have scored twice last time around as well. Just struck it right onto the post when he was about to score a brace last time. But he could easily get that brace against Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton have conceded quite a lot of goals lately, and Wood is just looking on fire lately. So I think he's a really good option on the free hit as well. Flecken as the bench goalkeeper I've talked about already. Gordon is a nice bench option as well. Newcastle playing against Spurs at home. I think that's a really good fixture. Maybe a bit too much doubling up on both Isak and Gordon, but Gordon is a really nice replacement if you need someone to play, if someone for some reason doesn't play in the starting lineup. If Isak, for example, doesn't play, that could also happen potentially, but yeah, Gordon is a nice backup. And then Aït-Nouri, as always, is always going to be a really nice option. Nottingham Forest at home away, it's not the worst fixture either, so I think that's a decent fixture for him. And then Reguilon, I have some bad memories from him. Free hit, game 29, minus 3 points from the red card that he got, but Sheffield United at home, if there's any game week that he should be good, it should be that game week. And he also got 2 assists last time, so maybe he's back into form and back ready to play, but he just makes the bench basically because I don't really trust him enough to start him. But he's a decent enough backup option or potentially a little starter differential if you want to free hit this week for some reason. And that's basically the team for Game 33, the best possible team to have in Game 33 if you could free hit this game week. I'm not free hitting. I am currently doing nothing basically myself. I have 1 free transfer and I'm going to save it for Game Week 34. So I can do 2 transfers in Game Week 34 and have 2 1 game week punts basically for Game Week 34. So I'm just looking to stand pat with my team this game week. I think I have a pretty good team. Raya and Gabriel against Aston Villa at home. Happy about that. Aït-Nouri, obviously a good player like I mentioned in the free hit draft. Gusto against Everton at home should be really good as well if he's ready to play. If not, I have Sabarni coming on, which is not the best. So hopefully Gusto's ready to play. But I'm not too worried about that anyway. I don't really mind defenders in any game because defenders don't really get that many points, so I'm not going to waste too much time doing defender transfers I feel like this week. Salah or Haaland captaincy choice, I'm not quite sure yet. It's going to be one of those guys most likely, but Son also is potentially a frisky option like I've mentioned a couple of times now. Saka against Aston Villa at home and Palmer against Everton at home. Decent fixtures for 2 really, really good players on penalties basically. Darwin against Crystal Palace at home, I hope he starts. With Jota coming back now as well, maybe his place is a bit more in danger. Haven't been too impressed by Darwin lately. I think he was actually really, really poor against Man United. Had several chances to pass Salah especially and score himself, and he didn't really take care of his chances that well. So yeah, just hoping Darwin can strike back against Crystal Palace at home. I think that's a decent fixture, so hopefully he can strike back. And speaking of striking back, I hope Solanke as well is actually turning it on again and being a decent player for once, because he's been really disappointing lately. But Man United at home should be a really nice fixture. They concede left, right, and center lately. So Solanke could easily make life more miserable for Erik ten Hag and Man United fans, especially. So yeah, that's my starting 11 basically. On the bench I have Dubravka playing against Spurs at home. Not the best fixture. I'm going to start Raya for sure, and I don't really need Dubravka because I think Raya is going to play almost 100% guaranteed. Garnacho against Bournemouth away, I don't really feel too good about benching him, but at the same time, I think I sort of have to, but it depends what happens with the other players. If Haaland is subbed, for example, if he doesn't play from start, if I get a leak that Haaland doesn't play, I could easily swap him out for Garnacho and have a really nice option there in Garnacho. And then Sabarni and Branthwaite, not the best defensive options as backups, but at the same time, they've been pretty good to me and they've scored a lot of points for me, so maybe they can do another miracle for me if I need them for this game week. But hopefully both Aït-Nouri and Gusto are back fully fit to start, and I'm going to have a pretty strong team for game 33 and an even stronger team for game 34 in the double game week. So really looking forward to the next few game weeks and the end of the season. Really happy to be inside the top 10k. Give me a like if you are happy about me being inside the top 10k as well. Subscribe to the channel if you want more FPL tips from someone that's in the top 10k. Really exclusive club here. So yeah, all that stuff. Hope you can do that. Comment down below if you have any questions and stuff. And I'll see you around next time. I've been pretty quick with my videos this week because I'm basically traveling to London to see Kevin, so I need to be a bit quick because I have a lot of things to do this week. So basically rushing through these videos, but hopefully it's been entertaining for you. There's a lot of FPL tips for you in this video if you want that. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Thank you and bye-bye.